Right. Hey, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to Draglist Live, where we bench race with the world's top drag racers. My name's Bill Pratt. It's great to be with you tonight, as always. And tonight we feature Boyd Olar. He's going to tell us what he formerly did in the funny car in a dragster, but doing all kinds of other famous and fast and fun motorsports. It's going to be great to check in with him tonight. John Bockelman's here with me, as always. John, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great here, BP, and howdy from Houston, everybody. Please join us on the live chat. I'll take notes and I'll pass your questions and comments along to BP and Boyd.
Awesome. Thank you, John. Folks, before we get started, click the little thumbs up button down there. Click the share. Let your friends know we have Boyd Olar here live. And to prove it, let's bring him in. Boyd Olar, welcome to the show.
We are fantastic. Happy to be here tonight. It's a beautiful night out here in the state of Utah.
Awesome. Well, I so appreciate you coming on. We had planned for last year's motorcycle world champion who had some scheduling issues, so we'll get him rescheduled, folks. So for the folks who were waiting to see Gage Herrera, but we got one of the top motorsports guys in the state of Utah, and we're going to have a great time and talk about some unique things tonight you may not know about. So, Boyd, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate this. It's fantastic knowing you. And tell us. So we started out with funny cars, and I'm pushing towards Top Fuel, I believe. Uh, but you kind of got out of that. Tell us a little bit about your funny car journey over the last couple of years.
The funny car business came about here in 2018 with our local track closing. I was at that point. I was a sportsman driver. We had a top sportsman type class, a 750 bracket racing, and when the track closed, a good buddy of mine contacted me and he said, "Hey, if we're traveling for drag racing, you might as well make some money at it." And I said, "Are you kidding me? You can make money drag racing?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, I'm in. What do we have to do?" And he said, "Let's go funny car racing." And I said, "Okay, yeah, let's do that." Steve Macklyn, if you know Steve Macklyn, he is the most expensive friend I have ever had. If he ever tells you that you can make money drag racing, I can show you my checking account over here. But Steve was great. He got me into the funny cars and got me safe out there. This was a big step going from a big block Chevrolet in a 750 chassis car to a funny car, and it was with his recommendations and coaching. Him and Jerry Osler, if you know Jerry, as I was with him at any of the tracks. Those two guys are the ones that schooled me into the funny car business.
Mm-hmm.
If you could see the nostalgia car in the posters that John built over there,
Right.
that is Dale Pulde's War Eagle.
Wow.
That is the original. The War Eagle. I pulled that wrap off, and I found that beautiful paint underneath it.
Wow.
Over there and that car. I'm short. I'm a little guy. I'm 5'6", 5'7" now that I've got new vertebrae in my neck, so I gained an inch. But when I got that car, I was 210 pounds. Squeezing into that car, we needed some bacon grease
Right.
to get into that.
Oh, Pulde's a pretty small guy, small framed for
He,
sure.
you
If it
know,
was built for
so
him, wow.
and we had that car sitting in my garage over here. And the first time I put that 20-layer suit on, and I'm sitting in the car, and they strapped me in and pulled the chin strap down, lowered the that body down. The first time, I think I lasted 8 seconds.
Really?
I was out. I was claustrophobic as ever sitting inside of that car. It was probably 100 degrees, sun coming into the garage. So I had that going on, had the helmet on, and you know as well as I do, when you're sitting in a funny car, your field of vision is this way.
Right.
And I popped out of that hatch and was standing there grasping for air. And it was Steve that talked me into getting back into the car, settling down, getting my breath underneath me and everything else. But my first go around was I made it. I bet, and that's probably an exaggeration of 8 seconds. I don't know if I made it that long. I'm just saying 8 seconds because that's how bull riders they're looking for 8 seconds. So, but
did you get it out there and drive on occasion?
we did. We started with the the motor that was in it. Was a fuel motor that they had switched over to alcohol. So the motor, I think it was like 571 or something like that. I've had so many motors go through here. 571 with a 1471 on it. We took it up to Boise, and we were pulling probably 18 pounds of boost with that route, and we just could not get that car over 200 miles an hour. I couldn't get it over 200 miles an hour for there. Boise, it was hot. The DA up in Boise was around 9,000 feet. You know, out west here, that's what we deal with. So we played with it, took it to the chaos for a couple times. And like everything, it just wasn't enough. So I ended up getting a Brad Anderson, another Brad Anderson with Brad 6 heads on it, and put a screw on the dang thing, basically top alcohol. And threw that into a Pulde chassis and got my butt handed to me out here in District 7. They said those guys are too fast for us out here. But so I took the motor and dropped it back into the Pulde car and went out and played with that. And if anyone's ever played with a screw blower Hemi, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, it's restripping every now and then. It's ridiculous. But so you raced in chaos and you also literally raced in top alcohol funny car in Division 7?
We went down there, qualified, and that was it. We qualified, and then it's easier to qualify at a national than anything else because they take a 16-car field. So for some reason, with the alcohol cars, for one, we don't get any sponsors. So you show up to a national, you're going to get in. So that's how working people get in. We can't get into a divisional out here because they take the top 8. So you got to be on your game. Do this stuff quite a bit. The nationals you can get in just by buying your way in over there, but you get the when you show up with a pickup truck in a gooseneck, you're out there having fun. You're out there having fun, and we've had a lot of fun with funny cars. We've done more tests and tunes than we have anything else with these funny cars. I just didn't have the time, being a full-time contractor, an engineer over here, to do this thing full-time. We played down there in Phoenix, down there with the car, and we were Oh, and I've got an updater on my
Yeah, I had the same thing today. My computer trying to update. So
yeah, the exit without installing. Yes, there we go. Computers. But we had more fun going out with these cars with the test and tune. If Steve was with me, we could give it the coals, give it the beans. But Steve's also got his own race program out there. So, but him and Jerry are great information. They got Rod, my buddy over here, and I schooled on this whole thing. There's nothing like a funny car. Nitro Alley put a post out there last week: dragster or funny car. And I went lengthy in the difference between the two of them. I've had both the top alcohol dragster, and then we've also had the funny car. The funny car is unbelievable. Anyone that sat in that dang thing and let go of the button or drop the clutch, all craziness happens and it's there's nothing like it. There's I haven't done a jet yet, never will, but this is probably the closest thing that you can get to that kind of adrenaline feeling.
it's amazing. Well, what were your best times in the chaos car and then the top alcohol car?
In the chaos car, we were playing with the chaos car, the Pulde car with the screw blower down there in Arizona. We got the car running. I think we're running right around 45 pounds of boost on it, 45, 48 pounds of boost. So we're making some horsepower down there. Had good air. We got down there to the 570s in that old car. And it's a safe car. We were just a little bit over 250, 252 is what we were able to get. So that's the fastest we've ever been with this stuff out there. There's and when people ask, what's the difference between a 200-mile-an-hour run or a 220 and a 252? Inside of the funny car, for those that are doing it, it becomes a mechanical process over there. So the only thing when you're in the quarter mile, you all I know is at the 1,000-foot mark, when I would reach up for the pull the chutes, the last 300 feet goes by really fast. So yeah, it's okay. Otherwise everything is kind of mechanical. You do this, push this, and then it's hold up, it's a kind of a mechanical thing. So unless things go sideways, and if things go sideways, then you're in for a full ride. If you have the tires chatter on you a little bit, first time that ever happens to you, that's an experience over there too. You got to, and that you just don't know. Do you drive through? Do you back off? But that's why the guys that do it well get paid well, because they know they're just better than the Boyd Olars out there, because I'm just the opposite. I'll try to drive through it and think, oh man, that didn't work, and so there's a lot to that stuff. It's as the professionals are out there that do it consistently. There's more to it than what people say, just jumping in the car and pushing the skinny pedal.
Oh, heck yeah. But you're out there doing it, though. That's the important thing. And wonderful. Let's take a break and, or not a break, I should say, but let's go to John and see who's out there on the chat. John, Can you share it? I need to step away just for a moment. I got somebody knocking at the door, believe it or not. So let's hear from our chat line and let Boyd know what we got going on.
Yeah, we're here from coast to coast tonight. Rich Panicaro and Mark Malinsky in New Jersey are with us. Rodney Potter says, "Hi guys from New York. It's great to see everyone and having my good friends from Sucker Punch Racing, Travis and EJ, as racers of the week." And Randy Johnston in Northern California said, you were talking about the Bandit funny car, I believe. And
That's correct. Yeah, that's yeah, the Bandit. I threw that on there because it's a Firebird, of course. You know, you got to have a name with it. If you're going to put a nostalgic car, you got to have a name to it out there. And so I threw the Bandit on there. It took it down to Mocan, and anyone that has ever raced Mocan down there in Missouri, what a beautiful old time track. I can't wait to get back down there to it. But I threw some stickers on the darn thing, ran down there, and then came back and grabbed the. I took the that wrap off, and as soon as I found it had the old War Eagle paint colors, not the same thing when Dale sold that. The name stayed with Dale as it should have. But the colors are pretty similar to what he originally had it painted.
right. Well, it's an absolutely beautiful car, and I've enjoyed working on it with the graphics, putting it in there. I made it front and center. I hope that's okay. And Randy Johnston said, I think he was talking about the Bandit, and he said it's a 750 funny car in the California Independent Funny Car Association. And Kay Thurkelson is with us tonight. She says, "Good evening, everyone. Miss Kay here. Happy you all could join us." Rob McCabe posted, "Good evening." He said, "I just got my Facebook page reinstated. They thought my info was being phished. And I'm here tonight while doing my ongoing entry updating." And I said, "Welcome back, Rob. It's great to have you back with us." Uh, Rob also posted, he said, "I believe the Chaos Series is going to be at Mocan this year." He said, "I believe Nitro and Funny Car Chaos will be there." And he said he'll have to check on that. And actually, Rich Panicaro and Rob McCabe and Randy Johnston and myself all said that Kay is doing a great job getting our guests for us. Thank you, Kay.
You bet. So thanks. So
No,
what, any thoughts on any of that, Boyd? Can you confirm we're going to Mocan with the Chaos guys?
Well, they Chris always for Labor Day weekend. Chris has always got Labor Day weekend over there for the Chaos over there. So I think he started that the first year he was out. I think he's been out there now for at least 10 years. So he will be. I'm almost dead positive that he'll be out there. Just that track. Everybody's got to experience a down south in the woods type track. Out here, out west, we race in the desert. I'm originally from Michigan, so you know, I played at Byron and Great Lakes and stuff like that. But you know, we see these older historic tracks from the southern and the Midwest and everything else. They are just beautiful. That in you know, if there was a favorite track of mine, it is that Mocan. They just had a race over there this weekend with the Promont. That's probably where we'll be going back to here. Is a door car Promont type of thing, and we'll be that one there for us. It's a 17-hour drive, but it's for us, it's worth it. Don't like the humidity. Don't like the humidity at all, but it's
Compared to you, there's no humidity anywhere, right?
well, when we're here in northern Utah, we complain when it gets over 17%. So that's kind of not fair. But when we see something out there, but the drag racing, and I have to say, with Kay, and I don't know if Kay knows this or not, but Kay and I actually come. I moved here in 1980 from Detroit. My dad was he was a kid. Everybody talks about an army brat. I'm a construction brat. So my dad would run around. So we moved here in 1980, and actually, I don't know if Kay even knows this, but I actually went to Kearns High. She went to Kearns High School over there, but as soon as we graduated, went to the University of Utah, and then transferred right back to Michigan for a few years. We've been back here to Utah for now 25 years now, but with a couple stints in near Chicago, Rockford area. But it's but Kate, I don't think Kate knows that. I'm a product of Kearns High, so you can't expect a whole lot out of me.
Well, you're doing all right. You're the valedictorian now with all you're doing.
Yeah, it's my story. I can tell it the way I want. See.
Well, you're moving away from the funny car then. Have you sold it and you're building a pro mod? So tell us that transition story.
We did. Here it was probably 3 years ago. I'm the and I already told you that I get a little claustrophobic in the car. So the last thing the guys would do, when you're in the funny car, they're strapping your arms down, so your arms are flailing around and everything else. And the last thing I would do is reach up with my thumb and grab a hold of my chin strap. And I would pull it down. Okay. And I wouldn't tighten it up so your head doesn't move, which you should have. I would leave it loose so I could move my head around a little bit, not much. You can't, with the Hans on, you can't move much anyway inside of there, but I would leave it a little loose. By leaving it loose and my head smacking the back of the seat on the launch, in as well as at the other end of the track when you pull the chutes, then your head's stretching, trying to go the other direction, trying to meet the butterflies. It herniated every disc in my neck. So I think there's 6, 7, I can't remember, but it herniated all. So when the doctor told me I couldn't do the funny car business, then I sold those. I still know where my motor is. I still know where that is. It's up in Alberta, Canada, up there. Made a couple phone calls 2 weeks ago. And not sure what what's going on. We're all aging and stuff like that too, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But so when I got out of the funny cars, I thought, well, I'm not going to go near as fast, so I went out and bought a '66 Nova. Or Chevy 2, Chrome Molly 6.0 chassis, 632 on it. It had a couple kits of nitrous, so we put 5 kits on it, and we started playing with that. I love to create. I'm more of a builder than I am a racer. If my buddies get pissed at me because I'll spend a year building a car, getting it perfect, and then sell the damn thing. But that's kind of, I've got a bit of ADHD, so that all makes sense to those of us that have ADHD. But with that, and I done the 66, and I was going to do the no prep stuff, a little grudge racing and stuff like that with it. And the converter that I put in it, that winter was just too tight. It was just too tight. Took it out to Colorado, Western Colorado, and I couldn't get the thing to go. So I called Cohen up, and they sent me out a looser stator. And in between getting the stator in, that's when the doc said, we took more MRIs, and he said, if you do anything high speed anymore, you're going to have a tube in both ends. I thought about it really hard, and I put the car, that red car, that Nova, for sale instantly. Instantly. It took me 2 weeks. That one went to North Carolina, and I think it got parted out out there, but I didn't even get a chance to put the stator in and give that thing a good lick out there. And when the guy called me, it was raining, and I've got a shop here at the house, and it was raining, so I was stuck in the shop. And I'm standing there looking at it because I thought, here's a lifestyle change for me. I come, I'm from Michigan with the auto companies. I'm a product of the Hot Wheel group.
Yeah.
And I've loved cars in general my entire life. And had show cars and race cars. So if Byron had a 67, 68, can't remember, Camaro, a 12-second car, had a blast in that thing when my kids were really young. We've and I saw I could see this chapter in my life closing. Not by me. I was more told this by a doctor. I told the guy, I can't remember his name, that I was talking to on that red car. And I said, buddy, when you better hurry it up and drop some money over here on my PayPal, Venmo, whatever you got, because I'm not that much of an emotional guy. I go through plenty of cars. The only thing that I've been able to hold on to is my wife. It'll be 41 years this year.
Congrats.
She thinks I'm going to mature. I'm not.
Yeah, mine's given up too after 35. Believe me.
See, it's so. I told the guy I don't get emotional. I get emotional if a dog gets hurt in a movie. I'll get emotional about that. But I told the guy, I said, you're gonna shoot me $5,000 here quick on my PayPal, because I'm getting emotional looking at this stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, when you come here, bring an empty trailer.
Yeah.
I unloaded everything inside of there, and I thought, if I get out, I'm going to get out to the point where I don't get back in. And it's been about 3 years now. My neck's fine. I had all those vertebrae replaced in February, it's given me a little confidence to get back in. I got to have another knee replaced in end of October, when I'm done with the rock crawling group that we're doing over here. But by spring, I should be rebuilt, 61 years old, 60-year-old, 60,000-mile rebuild. So
That sounds
we're looking
great.
forward to this next year.
Well, let's talk about the rock climbing because that is so that you got to take your horsepower in a different direction, a slightly different direction, both couple different ways, right? And tell us about rock climbing. I find that fascinating. I've seen a little bit on YouTube, but that's crazy. And to me, I mean, that's about it. Well, I mean, I'll let you talk about it, but that looks like, man, what if that thing didn't make it up there? That's what I want to know.
That is, and since I've moved back here 25 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, I got a little Jeep and I would go out there and do this a little bit and never really went too extreme. When they told me I couldn't do this drag race thing anymore, I thought, all right. My wife actually looked at me. We were laying in bed and she said, okay, now what are you going to do? And I said, I don't know. I don't know. I've raced motocross. I started, well, when you're 5 years old in the early 70s,
Yeah.
there wasn't a whole lot of motocross for kids or anything, but we started racing and then got a little more serious about it. And so I raced all the way up until I turned 51. And I found out I wasn't very good at it. Guys, I thought I was at the time, but I look at it, all the time I spent in the emergency room. I don't think I was that good at it in retrospect over here. But I don't feel comfortable getting another dirt bike.
Yeah.
All my buddies that are younger, when you do younger sports, you have younger friends. So they're in their 30s now, and they keep telling me, get another bike. And I just don't think that's in the cards over here. But with the rock crawling, we took on that a little bit heavier, more with Ernest over here. And you see the on the background that FJ Cruiser, that one is we bought that one and pretty much made it mine over here. There's not a whole lot of Toyota left in it, and it's filled that adrenaline void. It really has. There's a lot of times when you're going up a rock face and you don't see anything but the sun, the blue sky,
Yeah.
and hope like heck that your memory of where those rocks are happening, and you don't roll over. Yeah, on it. It's the adrenaline is there for us. We have a lot of fun. The rock crawler that the FJ now has, and don't need a whole lot of horsepower. We need torque out there. And a year and a half ago, I broke my transfer case, and it was stock Toyota with it had a supercharger on it, but it was TRD, little guy on that thing. And it turned those 43-inch tall tires just fine. And when my transfer case broke, I thought, all right, well, let's go LS. And the LS platform, I know nothing about. When the LS platform came out on the drag racing, we were already into the blown big block Chevrolets, and from the big block Chevrolets into the blown Hemis. So I didn't know anything about this little platform on the LS. So I put an LS1 in it. I had what they called a hot rod pan in it, and I thought, well, that's perfect. Well, I didn't know that you had to put a deeper oil pickup in the thing. So that lasted about 45 minutes and blew that one right up. So I couldn't, that was Boyd's fault. And so we now have a crate motor LS3 sitting in that one. We've got an LSA supercharger on it. We're making about 15 pounds of boost. We had it on the dyno, and we were making 753 torque to
Wow.
the tires, and my horsepower was down. I had a 6 rib pulley on it, and it was slipping, so my horsepower was about 450. But that has been a great piece to slide into, and then I've built a buggy over here, and I've got a Raptor. They've got a Can-Am fiberglass, or a Raptor body that fits a Can-Am 2-seat. UTV, is that what we're calling them? So
Yeah.
they delivered that last week. So I'm going to unveil that down at Trail Hero in October, down in St. George. So I'll have a Raptor, mini Raptor pickup with all Toyota running gear in it, but we'll also have 16 inches of suspension, so I'll be able to do all the buggy lines, but it'll look just like a mini Raptor. So that's
awesome.
what happens when you come out of neck surgery and you're on hydrocodone and you're sitting in the hot tub at 3 o'clock in the morning with a Visa card. That's what ends up happening. You order stuff. So
you got to stop one of those things, one of the because that's leading to bed. Let's go to John real and see what folks on the chat line say. Man, we're just blowing through the evening. It's been really fascinating. What's happening out there, John?
Well, they got to talking about the funny cars, and Rob McCabe said Labor Day weekend is Mocan. He said, I know that 1 month is Mocan Lebanon Valley Dragway, which he says he'll be there. And the finals are at Great Lakes. July 18th and 19th is Nitro Chaos at Mocan during their anniversary. And Randy Johnston said, your closest track for northern Utah is Sage Raceway in Idaho Falls, and they have, as of last year, a new owner. It's an 8th-mile track, but it's built right a few years ago. And Kay Thurkelson said Hypoxia Raceway is also another 8th-mile track not far from Salt Lake City.
Mm-hmm.
And Crafty Kate showed up, and she says, hello, everyone. Happy Monday. No fun day. I said, I answered her. I said, I wish it was Sunday. That's my fun day.
No stealing Bangles tunes, Janet.
Yeah.
Bangles
Kay
lyrics.
said in Boyd's shop right now is the car from the movie The Sandlot. And she said Boyd's rock crawler is awesome.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Boyd, how do you have to set, what's the chassis setup on those things? I mean, to me, they seem to defy gravity. And I'm just wondering what's the combination it takes between setting the chassis up right, getting the right amount of power, and then just, I guess, attacking the hill at the right angle. I don't know.
It is. In case too kind. Before we go into that, into the chassis, I got to tell you, that we've got Hypoxia. Hypoxia is up there in Evanston, Wyoming. I mean, for me, it's an hour and 10-minute drive. That is the closest one. And I've also talked to Ralph Pereira. He's the race director up there in Sage. So we've been talking about taking a pro mod up there, and he said, we'll get it up there. Well, if we go back to Hypoxia in 2018, Hypoxia is the highest drag strip there is in the nation.
Really?
And it is up. It's up there in there's absolutely no air. I mean, I get out of the truck and walking over to get a time slip, and I'm out of breath.
Now, hypoxia sounds like that physical condition that you might get.
Yeah. They should, for us flatlanders down here, they should actually have the little green tanks with a mask on, for us, so we can breathe up there. I went up there. Somebody had died in 2018. They had hit the wall or hit the guardrail, and there was a bunch of funny business. It's a fantastic track. I mean, if you want to go up there and run a motorhome down the dang thing, run a motorhome down the dang thing. You want to bring out your tractor, bring a tractor out. It's a fantastic track out there. Somebody had hit the guardrail out there in 2018, and they said, well, this is a crappy track. You know how people will complain about the local track until it's not there. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think his name is Brian. Name escapes me. I'm that old. It's been 6 years. So anyway, so I was seeing all this negative stuff out there. So I took my Corvette up there, and that one was a 750 in the quarter mile car, so on alcohol. So I took my car up there to show everybody, if I'm going to take a car this fast and this nice up there, quiet everybody down. So I took it up there, and I forgot my jets. Well, it's jetted for 4,000 or 5,000 feet of elevation, and now I'm up there at 11. So I'm going through a tank of gas, just idling up, or of alcohol, going from the pit to the starting line. It's just puking out of the zoomies. Right. And so I washed my bearings down. Okay, because so I take it from there to Streetcar Super Nationals, and I thought, I'll change the bearings after Streetcar Super Nationals, right? And what do bearings cost? $150 for these dang things. I made it 2 runs, and I can't blame the engine builder. I can't blame anybody but Boyd. He didn't do the maintenance on the dang thing. He didn't put in $150 worth of bearings in there. That takes you and I the same amount of time as this podcast to change them. Yeah. And we threw 3 rods out. Caught on fire, hit the wall, right there, almost at the end of the trap. So that's my story about the changing bearings and maintenance, guys. It's important. It's important. Now, going back to the chassis on the rock crawler, you can either tube chassis these things, and you usually do that on a buggy. Otherwise, what we end up doing on the FJ Cruiser, it's a stock frame right now. But with that, we reinforce the whole thing with 1/8 inch 3/16 plate all the way across the thing. We weld both sides of the seams where the 2 pieces come together to make it more rigid. I've got roll cage in it and everything else to keep the body from twisting coming out of the race car business. In the back, what we end up doing, and they've got programs on the internet for anti-squat and same thing, same kind of principles we do in drag racing. Right. But we use a double triangulated 4-link system where in a race car we'll put a panel bar in straight 4-link. Where we double triangulate, so they're either this way on top and this way on the bottom. That way it goes up and down. It doesn't shift left and right. Right. That's the best way. Up front, we've got a drive shaft that's usually in the way where we can't do a 4-link. So in that case, we'll do a 3-link up front, and then we use a track bar, a panhard bar. Bad thing is when one side goes down, it's getting pulled one way and that gets pulled the other way, so you have to set it up in neutral position, stuff like that. I did at Easter Jeep Safari. I think I know everything. I don't know if there's any your viewers out there that like I am, and I think my memory is fantastic. My wife and I were on a trail by ourselves because nothing ever breaks, and I'm an expert at this this rock crawling. And we're by ourselves, and just an easy 7-8 rated trail. It was steel bender if any of the rock crawlers are out there. Came up to a wall face that dropped down, and I thought, it's been a couple years. I think you go to the right. The right's the good side, and not the left. The left is the drop. And evidently, Mother Nature changed it, because I went to the right, and when I dropped down, we all remember that we grew up with Bugs Bunny, Roadrunner hour.
Roadrunner and a coyote.
Coyotes, and we've all seen the cartoon where they stop quickly and there's a face and hands on the windshield.
Yeah.
And then they slide off, well, and neither one of us have got the harnesses on. We got our little lap belts, but that doesn't stop you from into the window. So that's what I done. We dropped probably 5-6 feet, dropped straight down. And so I'm getting encouragement from Carrie, my wife, to not do that. And I couldn't drive out. I was into the sand, so I had to back up the hill vertically, or the rock vertically, and then bump it. So I kind of bulldozed out, but we did break the frame. Doing that, we broke an MBR shaft, a 7-8 solid shaft in the shock, and broke different things. But it should have. There was a lot of weight coming down on the angle. So we'll have that. We've got the shock repaired, and we'll get everything welded up, at least to get through. We've got the Great American Crawl with Rockstar Garage and Mickey Thompson Tires down in Moab the end of this month. So we'll nurse this thing together, try to behave, and get that through, and then we'll front half the rock crawler, just like we front half a car when it hits the wall. Right. A race car. So there's a lot of similarities with it. When you are
different
rock
applications,
crawling,
but similar styles.
there's a lot that apply. So and Bill, John, I see you're coming up. What have you got over here, John?
I'm sorry, Boyd. What was that?
Oh, I saw you. I'm still getting used to this whole streaming thing. Were you getting any questions or whatnot?
We have one big question that came in while you were talking, and it's from Crafty Kate. And she asked, do you have any advice for the newbies at drag racing? She said she has to ask that question.
John, for the newbies coming in, when I first started doing this, I didn't have any real coaching or anything else. I just got in the car and came around that corner, and I watched people doing it in front of me, and tried to get the system down. Now we've got a lot of YouTube videos that teach us how. I mean, if you want a good laugh, just go out there. Tim McAmus, that man is just fantastic. The guy pulls no punches. The guy's funnier than ever, but he's
done a good series of them, hasn't he?
He does. You do not have to have $100,000 car to go out drag racing and have fun. If you've got the family minivan, and your dad will let you take it out there on a Friday night, you get as much adrenaline when you come around the corner. And I don't care if it's where it is. The big events are fun, but in having a lot of horsepower behind you is a lot of fun as well. But get yourself a good helmet over there, and if NHRA is beautiful for telling us how much safety equipment that we have. be kind to the safety inspectors. Be kind to those guys. We never want to be told we can't run. However, when you hit the wall on fire, all of that safety stuff is they're not looking out for themselves at that point. They're looking out for you out there. But you can take your minivan, go out there in experience this thing. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money to go out there and enjoy yourself. If you can get the younger people interested in this stuff, they are the future of drag racing in motorsports as a whole. I had a doctor 3 years ago tell me, Boyd, nothing high speed. Sell all your crap. You're done. Okay, take up bowling. So I'm from the Midwest, so warm Schlitz, White Castles, and bowling kind of went together when I was a kid living there. But there's just not a whole lot of adrenaline doing that. But as far as advice for the youngsters getting out there, go out there with what you have. Get yourself a good helmet. From there, that's a start. Get out there and enjoy yourself, and ask questions when you're out there. That everybody loves to help out there. And there's a lot of YouTube out there now that helps kids to know how far the beams are, how to do things, and can take advice from those race directors out there.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Well,
Excellent
I tell you,
advice.
it's been an absolute pleasure visiting with you, Boyd. I do want to get a little bit of a plug for your business. Do you do motorsports for other folks, or tell us what your business is, and if that's something folks might come visit you and do a little business?
Absolutely. This kind of was my retirement thing. Once I got into the rock trawling business, we built tube chassis, for race cars, and putting chassis in other cars. I've got tubing benders and TIG and MIG and all this other tubing notchers, and now I've got a plasma table over here. Which, if you don't have a plasma table in your garage, everybody needs to have one of those. Those are just fun. But we've got metal presses over here now too, so we can pretty much build anything over here. But this thing kind of took on a life of its own here a year and a half ago over here. So we're doing quite a few of these Barrett Jackson cars that go through, because what we're finding is people aren't trying to find an old school mechanic shop that can go through the hydraulic systems, put the electrical systems in hot rods, rock trawlers, go through these old Packards, for instance. So we work on pretty much anything that is that's fun. We've rebuilt the 49 Packard, all the hydraulics and electrical and plumbing and everything else on that. So we got that one already out. We've got a 41 Packard that's coming in, and I'm currently looking for a body guy out there, and trying to find a body guy for these classics. Everybody wants to do collision now, so I'm having trouble trying to find a shop to do that. So if you can't find a shop, build a shop and do that. But we've got the Sandlot T-Bird, if you're familiar with that movie. That's a local Utah car, so that's in the shop right now, fixing the fuel injection on that. They put that on years ago, and all the whole front end. We're going through everything, new exhaust, new all of that stuff. We've got a 56 T-Bird in here that is a nut and bolt. That one there's going back original. So that one will be a frame off type of thing. And then currently we've got a C10. I can't remember the year, 70, 71, 72. Over here that we're doing an LS swap and in putting a 4L10, I think, in it. Now, these new transmissions, hell, I don't know what these things are anymore, but in updating that, so make a good handling car right around 525 horsepower out of that one. So yeah, we're that's kind of what we're doing. We've got two guys in the shop. Got a good welder, metal fabricator. Currently building building custom bumpers on a 78 series Truby that came from Bosnia. If you can believe
Wow.
that's unique. And
I'll
then
say.
I've got Lucky in here too. That is pretty much runs everything over here, and I'm lucky to have Lucky. Everybody needs to have a Lucky over here, but we're anything that's fun over here. And I told Lucky. He's younger. He's in his mid-30s, so he comes from the tuner side of things. And so I've got him now into the rock crawling business. And the 2 weeks ago, I told him, I said, okay, you're going to get introduced back into the drag race as well, pal. So he looks a lot like me. When we're out, people will ask what's the dynamics. Is it father son? And it's just easier to say yes.
Yeah.
But we'll get Lucky into this drag race. I'm excited to get back into it. We just need to get some construction jobs done so we can hide money from the accountants. And I got a car in mind. It'll be a good one over there. We just have to. So if anyone wants to Venmo me and sponsor me, you know how you do that. Usually when people die for medical expenses, but this is something a little more fun out there.
Well, where can folks find you on the internet to follow along or to contact you if they want some work done?
It's fairly easy. I finally got my website up through GoDaddy. I'm not a computer guy, like I told you here an hour or so ago, trying to get this thing. But I've also got Olar Motorsports.com out there. We've got on Facebook either Olar Motorsports or my personal page, Boyd Olar, out there on Instagram. Everybody's got to have an Instagram. I had no idea. And out there on Instagram, I'm Utah_Yoda with the Toyota. It's YOTA. Not that I don't have shirts over here with Utah YODA.
Of course.
But fairly, or just Boyd Olar, fairly easy. Or you can also, I found I'm new to this whole Instagram thing. If you type in Sandlot T-Bird out there on Google, the first picture that comes up is me with a pineapple hat. I got to be more careful with that, but that'll cue you into finding me awful easy over there. But some Fridays over here, things get sideways over here. So
Sideways Fridays. I like it. That's what we need.
I like it.
We need t-shirts now. John, anything else from the folks before we say farewell to Boyd?
We're caught up for the moment, but what really impressed me, Boyd, about your operation there was the quote, "You dream it, we can build it." I thought that was
we can. Yeah. That's and it's a shame. 20, 30 years ago, there were more shops out there that were just like this. And unfortunately, we're dying off. We're dying off.
I just realized Kay Thurkelson asked if the rock crawler bodies, are they carbon fiber?
The body that I got over here, that is a Fiberworks Raptor body. This is fiberglass, and it's fairly thin. So this one here is going to have to get some extra layers on it over here. But for the most part, the rock crawlers, everything is all the Jeeps that are out there, the JLUs, the JKUs, the JTs, and why I'm saying all the Jeep products, they're all solid axle front. The Toyotas are fantastic. You're just a little limited on the rock crawling business because it's independent front, and with the independent, they ride fantastic, but we do break them. When you get over a 7.8 rated trail, we're gonna break some parts. The new Broncos are fantastic out there in the rock crawling too. It's a shame to see some of these guys go out and spend $100,000 on these dang things and den them up, but they're having fun. They're having fun out there. So
Pretty amazing. Well, Boyd Olar, thank you so much for coming on. What a pleasure. Took us down paths that we wouldn't have gone otherwise. I mean, some drag strips are called cow paths, the smaller ones, but you're taking us really bangity crashing through the woods and on the rocks. It sounds like a lot of fun. And really appreciate you visiting tonight and wishing you all the best. We'll see you somewhere down the road.
absolutely, we'll keep you posted on the future endeavors. I don't know if there's a divorce in the line. She doesn't know about my greatest new idea, but she's not a YouTuber anyway, so I think I'm safe.
There you go. Well, I might blackmail you. We'll see how it goes. I need some money myself. All right, Boyd, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great evening, and we'll catch you somewhere down the road.
All right, thanks, guys.
Boyd Olar, everyone. See you later, sir. Wow, that was fun. Let's go over to John Bockelman for this week's JB's Take and the Racer of the Week. John, take it away, sir.
Thanks, BP. My pick for Racers of the Week are Elisa and Travis Martin from Travelers Rest, South Carolina. Their 63.5 Ford Falcon Gasser is an outstanding hot rod, and I'm proud to feature them tonight. I will read what they sent me word for word, and here's what Travis told me. It's just a car, and to many people, that's just what it is. To EJ and I, it's our connection to our daughter. We bought the 1963.5 Falcon as a roller in 2010. We dropped the Falcon off at JP Automotive under the care of Jeremy Pearson and Craig Owen. A straight axle, roll cage, 35 spline axles, fender well headers, fuel cell, wheelie bars, and electronics were installed. At the same time, our 19-year-old daughter, Tabitha, had returned home from college and was having a difficult time adjusting to young adulthood. Anxiety, depression, and weight gain ensued. As parents, we tried different methods to connect with her and get her active without much success. Along came Steel in Motion in 2012, where I met Charles Tyre, a local pinstriper. Charles added 0219, Tabby's birthday, as my car number and stick 'em on one of her fave songs. In my rear window, she took notice. The foundation had been set, and from that day forward, she had input on the car. In 2015, we added the 671 blower and upgraded the trans to a Jericho. In 2016, the awesome paint was applied by Greg the Night Stalker Porter at Highway 123 Speed Shop. The three candy colors, gold was mine, red was EJ's, and blue was Tabby's. After consulting with Tabby, the name Sucker Punch was picked from one of her favorite movies. Charles hand-lettered the whole car and pinstriped each panel. The motor is a 368 cubic inch small block Ford with a 4340 scat crank, aluminum rods, TFS street heat high port heads, and a Dyer's 671 blower. The two quick fuel 750 carbs built at C&R Machine Shop by Rob McAllister and Will Harbin, and backed up by an 11-inch Ram clutch, G-force 4-speed, and 513 gears. Over the course of the build, our daughter's confidence grew, and the hot rod community embraced her. She lost over 100 pounds, became a track photographer, a pin-up girl, a flag girl, a backup girl, and did some photo shoots. Sucker Punch has been featured in multiple magazines and participated in such events as the Meltdown Drags, Funny Car Chaos, and the Greer Hot Rod Revival. It has run a best of 591 at 119 miles an hour in the 8th mile. We lost our Tabby in an auto accident in 2019 and continue to race in her honor and stay connected to the hot rod community who helped turn her and her life around. EJ was recently named the 2024 Drag Racing Backup Girl of the Year and has always helped me service the car between rounds and get me in the groove. In closing, if you see Sucker Punch going down the track, think of Tabby. The music, there are 7 musical references on the car, the colors, and all the cool people who helped along the way. Special thanks to Jeremy Pearson, Craig Owen, Will Harbin, Michael Wickware, Greg and Cassandra Porter, Jesse Holmes, Brett Martin, and Wade Prater. We have raced with the following groups: the Jesse Holmes Southern Outlaw Gassers, the Carolina Push Rods, the Straight Axle Mafia, Chantel Ray's Dirty South Gassers, and the Misfit Gassers. And our public Sucker Punch Gasser page has a tribute video to Tabby, Kickstart My Heart. And to Tabby, wherever we are together, that is home. Well, Travis and Elisa, this feature has a very deep and special meaning to us. You honor Tabby with this car, and I have no doubt she rides with y'all in every pass. We wish y'all good luck, safe racing, and the best of times in the future. Everybody stay safe and well. You are the most important part of this show, and we love you all. It's a great way to spend an hour together on a Monday night. We'll see y'all next time. God bless America. Back to you, BP.
Thank you, John. And of course, my condolences go along. What a great tribute, and what a great, I know so many folks have mentioned once you mentioned them as the racers of the week this week. So many folks have come on and said what a great selection and a great family. So proud to do it for them. Thank you for doing that. And you know,
You know,
it's hard to hear that, but
I heard the same things about Travis and Elisa, that they're just wonderful people and they've got a beautiful hot rod and they have a really meaningful story behind it.
sounds great. Well, let's go on and do the rest of our show here. We do have I heard something today popped up just before I actually read it on my way home tonight. And by the way, you can see I'm still in my monkey suit. So I've had to go out and meet some business clients today. My IT job, I typically don't travel on Mondays, but this was very important. I had a big contract to work, and got home, and the Washington, D.C. Beltway traffic just in time to sit down and get on the show with John and Boyd. So you'll have to put up with the striped shirt today, guys. But I heard today coming home that Budds Creek, Maryland International Raceway, is not going to have the IHRA President's Cup this year in early August. So I was looking forward to seeing that that national event return to Budds Creek, but at least for this year, that's not going to happen. I don't know about the rest of the IHRA Tour. We see a lot of notes about that on the And actually, our boy Bobby Bennett's been keeping a pretty close track on that over at Competition Plus. But I was interested to see that and disappointed, frankly, because I was planning to head on down there. Because we don't have Funny Car Chaos this year, which was our big August event last year. So Royce and team indicate that they will get some other special event in that slot, but very, very interesting to know that. So breaking news. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Let's talk about upcoming guests, folks. We're very excited. Miss K has been working hard. Next Monday night, May 19th, John Capps, the Nitro Funny Car stalwart, will join us. We're not going to talk about that other guy that's named Capps. This is the real funny car racer in the family. Nitro Funny Car stalwart John Capps. He races big show cars and chaos cars. So looking forward to having him on. On May 26th, we're off from Memorial Day. So at that day of memory and rest, we're going to take part in that as well as you, hopefully. And June 2nd, we got Jim Howe of Howe Motorsports. Again, the team owner, team and car owner, driver, the Guardian, Warden, and others of the hit television TV show Street Outlaws. So we're going to bring the boob tube here to Draglist Live. On the 9th, the Quadra Boys Pro Stock Racing Team, David Quadra, Fernando Quadra Jr., Christian Quadra, and maybe the old man, Fernando Sr. might come along. But the Quadra Boys coming on the 9th. We're excited about that. On the 16th of June, Chris King, NHRA Funny Car Drivers coming on, and he's about to go to his first event of the year. I just saw that today online, so looking forward to catching up with Chris. On the 23rd of June, Alexis DeJoria, the Bandero Tequila NHRA Funny Car Driver. I'm hoping I'll get a case of that stuff for doing the show, but probably not. But what I really would like to do is talk to our friend Alexa. We haven't talked to her before, or Alexis rather. So very, very excited about that. I'm afraid I thought my Alexa might turn on there for me for a moment. And coming up in July on the 14th, Ida Zetterstrom, European Top Fuel champ and NHRA contender. And so very, very excited to have Ida join us. And then we got one more date and a number of other dates in July to fill up. I know Miss K is hard at work on it. So really looking forward to that. Going on to those we lost, we got two to mention this week on the 19th, and this goes back a way back to 19th April. We hadn't heard this yet. Rocket Man Mike Francis Boyles, but Mike Boyles, better known, passed away on April 19th. He had the Jersey Twister modified production cars, a number of different models of that. So farewell to Mike Boyles. And also Bill Weekley, one of the great superstock racers of all time, passed away in April. I don't have the exact date, but farewell to Bill. I know that at Big Old Mopars, he's a very popular racer, and lots of headlines, lots of stories about him over the years. But farewell to those racers. Thanks for the thrills, guys, and our condolences to the family and many, many friends. Let's keep the list light, keep the list short. That's what we want to do. So before we say farewell, let's go to John for your final thoughts on the show.
Well, it was just a wonderful show tonight, and we had great participation from the chat board, and there's a lot of information there. Check it out, and Boyd was just a great guest, and he's got it going on, man. That guy is terrific. And I'm looking forward to next week with John Capps.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great visit with him. And I hope everybody has a cool week. It's going to be hot here, but cool inside.
Nice. It's warming up here. It was beautiful today, but it's warming up a little bit. And here comes the summer, late spring and summer. I love it. Thank you, John. So let's say farewell, folks. I want to thank Boyd Olar for coming on. He saved us, and Miss K, literally when she found out that Gage could not come on, she was visiting with Boyd in his garage at the time. She says, well, I said, let's get her done. This is like kismet. This is like heaven handing it to us. And he very kindly decided to come on. And I agree. It was terrific. I mean, just just kept on rolling, man. I did not have to pull one thought out of his head. He just made it happen. So really appreciate Boyd coming on. A lot of fun meeting him and getting to chat with him. Of course, thank you, John, my brother. With the Draglist Super Crew shirt looking good there. I'm gonna, John and I were talking about this, and maybe I'll do it next week. And I gotta get my stuff together and put it together. We've got a couple left. I have a couple folks that I've been working with who are helping me look at modifying a Draglist in terms of AI. These are two folks. I'm not ready to introduce them yet, but they're helping me do the AI piece of trying to gather a bunch of this data and try to bring a Draglist into the future as a site and try to put one of the things we're looking at is using AI to go grab all the old HTML stories and bring them forward into the modern WordPress format so that we can put them back up a lot. One of the other things we're looking at is going back and doing kind of like Facebook does, where it goes back to this date every year in the past. So we want to do the same thing and kind of pull all the old stories from every date forward and make those available. So lots of cool things to do like that. And my other partner is going to, and now both of these folks are helping me, and I haven't really announced it, I guess, but I started a new IT consulting business called Gov IT Works LLC. And so at the same time, I put a new LLC, limited liability company for drag racing list. And the old Build Then Enterprises is closing down. We're separating our IT from our drag racing. But the same folks who were helping me with my IT consulting got really excited about the drag racing part. And so we've got a couple of new Draglist Super Crew team members I'll be announcing here pretty soon. But the one person is going to help like market and try to get maybe get some new the shirts and things like that. So I'm very excited. But all that to say that I've got a box with about 5 to 10 shirts left. So what I want, and this for you guys who are listening right now, you guys got the inside track, right? Send me a note. I don't know what size I have. I don't know. I know I have quite a few of the Danny Miller Rear Gears tribute shirts, and maybe 3 or 4 of the other ones that are maybe the black ones. So send me your name and your shirt size if you're interested in these. And what I'm going to do is just match them to the people they fit. And you guys who have found us here on the chat and to support us, you guys are the ones who are going to get first dibs on these. Send me, your name, your address, where I can send them. Send me your desired shirt size, and maybe give me a couple of options because you might have to, might get one that's a little big, but I don't think we have any mediums left because I gave away the one medium left, but there's a couple larges, a couple XLs, maybe even a couple of 2XLs. But if you're interested in getting one of these Draglist shirts, drop me a line and give me your address and give me your your desired shirt size. And then I think I maybe have 10 left tops. So the folks on this chat tonight are probably going to be the ones who get them. And then I'm just going to ship them out. I'm put them in the get some mailers and send them all out. I don't want any money. I just want to take care of us, you guys who take care of us by visiting every week. So I really, really appreciate it. And what I'll do is I'll let folks know, sort of who I heard from first and who matched up with the shirt sizes and who gets them. And I obviously, depending on how many people are listening, got about 10 shirts. So obviously not everybody can get them, but I definitely want to do a little thank you to the folks who take care of us. Anyway, I don't know how I got on that anyway, but thanks to John Bockelman. Your Super Crew shirt made me think of that. Thank you so much to Kay Turkelson, who is just amazing. And everybody we talked to, man, they're like, yeah, she's tearing it up out here. By the way, everybody's got their business card. John designed a bunch of great business cards for us. So John got his and Rob got his and Kay got hers. And I ordered mine last night, so I'm ready to go. Pretty soon we'll be rocking and rolling. I also want to thank Rob McCabe, who's on tonight. He's doing an amazing job putting new Draglist members on the list. We've grown. We actually have about 126,500 entries now. So we just keep on growing. Mel Bashur, He's digging up the old 1950s stuff, man. It's bitching, it's cool. And a lot of it, the funny thing about his entries is many of them don't have ETs. The stuff he was finding is when they just ran for top speed and didn't even run ETs. So thanks to Mel, thanks to Ron Toombs, of course, for looking out for us and making lots of edits over the week. I want to thank the big guy, Danny White, who did it for us for so many years. And he's still here in our hearts. Thanks to Jeff Gilder, Zeus Digital Marketing, Racers Reunion, and Wingding Media. And another reminder, click the like, the little thumbs up down there, click to share. And if you go to the little Draglist icon in square down there, you can subscribe to this channel. Please tell your friends. We would appreciate it. And then checking out Draglist every day to see what we got. We put up something new every day, even if it's like news stories from around the world relating to drag racing. And then finally, oh gosh, I was going to tell you, see you next week for this guy, but I forgot to edit this part. The next guy we're going to talk to is John Capps. So see you next Monday night for Funny Car Racer, John Capps. And I'm looking forward to talking to John. We've had him on a long time ago, and we're bringing him back. So have an awesome, awesome week, everybody. Let me go find my magic button here. I wish I didn't have to look away from you to do this, but have an awesome week, everybody. Really, thanks again to Boyd. Thanks to John.